All right, going to show you a leg saver routine today. We got 10 different movements on here, no equipment needed. So this is one of those exercise routines that you can also do whenever you're not at the gym. But it's a big time, it's an important movement, collection of movements for injury prevention as well. We want to make sure we're hitting all these main areas with good technique. So I'm going to go over them all in a second. So we got these 10 different movements here. Start on with the fire hydrant. So bent leg and straight leg fire hydrant. When you're doing the fire hydrants, this is part of our workout routine for many of these teams. We're going to go 1 second up with a pause. Try not to get too much lean to the side. You're going to get a little bit of a lean to offset and then going out to the side. So showing it from a side angle here. Making sure that you're coming straight out to the side. Knee and foot coming straight up. Now when we go straight leg, same concept. Leg straight. Try to have your leg nice and even, not way back behind you. And then try to make sure your toes are pointed down a little bit, not up to the ceiling. So back flat, making sure that leg's up and getting a nice easy rep with a 1 second pause. So that's the 2 different fire hydrant routine exercises there. Again, there's a note down here, 2 to 3 sets. Everything is 10 to 15 reps with a pause. So that's kind of our goal there. Going side plank leg raise and then a groin side bridge. Both of those from a side plank position. So a typical side plank. All right, we're going to double stack the legs and bridge up. All right, that's a typical side plank. The leg raise, the first one on there, you're just going to go up with a pause and raise that top leg. Now, if that's too difficult, what we like to do is drop that bottom leg down and do the side plank from there. Still doing the leg raise option there, okay? So that's the side plank leg raise. Now the groin side bridge, you kind of flip your legs a little bit. You're gonna have your top leg on the ground, bottom leg out in front of you. So top leg on the ground, bridge it up. Now you're working your groin and your adductor muscles to try to hold and lock in. Again, if that's too tough, the leg that's got all the leverage, bend that leg a little bit, and then try to bridge up from there. But try to get to where you can bridge up with that leg straight, working the groin good there. The next 2, you're going to have a bench or a box or something to use. I've got a bench back here behind me. I'm going to show you real quick. Glute bridge and pistol squat. So with the glute bridge, what you want to try to focus on is shoulders on the bench, keeping your hips up the whole time you go, trying to keep them normal, nice and flat all the way across your body. And then you want to be able to relax your head and shoulders. What you want to be able to do is lift one leg, first of all, without anything sagging, without anything rotating or turning or twisting. Remember, the details are very important here. So you're holding the hips up, one leg up, coming all the way down, and then extend up. Nice and controlled, again, with a 1 second pause. So that's the single leg glute bridge. The pistol squat, we're going to do off the side of the bench. So you're only going to be able to see my lower half here. I also put lateral step down because a lot of times that's how you're going to see this one called. We've called it both ways, so I'm going to put both on there just in case you're not sure. So you've got your box or your bench. What the idea there is to come down, tap the ground, come back up. What I want you to pay attention to is the knee and foot angle all point in the same direction, not caving in, all right? So as I come down to the bottom, ankle, knee, and hip are all in one direction. The problem I see with a lot of people on this is as you go down, you'll get a cave in or a dip, what we call valgus, where that knee crashes in some. So you want to make sure you're working on avoiding doing that. You want to look at the same stuff whenever you're doing the lunges as well. Whenever you're involving everything. So as we move on down this list, it's a much more all-encompassing type movement, a total body movement. You want to make sure that the ankle, knee, and hip are all kind of in a straight line. If something's caving or crashing, now you're getting more stress on the knee, not enough work from the hip muscles. So we want to make sure we're working on that. So as you're doing walking lunges, you want to make sure, I like walking instead of in place. It's a little different on the hips. When you take your steps, same thing. You're looking at the knee and the ankle, the different angles that you've got going on there. So from a lateral view, take a step right into your next step. You want to make sure the angle of whatever your step is, you can have your knee a little bit out in front of your ankle, but you don't want to have it crazy way out here in front of your toes. So you don't want to step too big. You don't want to step too small either where you crash. So kind of think about going nice 90-degree angle here, 90-degree angle here. That's kind of what you want to look for when you're going. So that's the walking lunge. Rotational lunge. It's a little bit tricky. It's a mix between a reverse lunge and a side lunge. So you'll face straight ahead, take a step back, and twist, and then step back together. Notice my front leg stays locked out, but my foot comes off the ground a little bit where the toes come up. So I step back and twist, all the way down, step back together. If I just did a side lunge, I'd be stepping back and forth here, right? Obviously with full range of motion. A rotational lunge, you're taking that approach, but half your body stays straight ahead, the other half turns. Turn, low as I can, explode back together. Okay, so that's the rotational lunge. Last two, single leg exercises that involve a little bit of balance. So you've got your single leg RDL. When you're doing your single leg RDLs, gather your balance first. Make sure you can lock in on that. Go ahead and go with both hands coming down, back leg up straight, and then coming back together. I'll show you from a side view. It might be a little easier to see. Gather your balance, back leg up straight, and then coming back together. So you want to try to make sure your hips stay square, not a lot of twisting and turning. Make sure your back stays flat, just like we would with a normal RDL, where that low back stays nice and flat, okay? Last one, single leg calf raise. It's nice if you can get an elevated surface, something to stand on. I mean, if I've got my bench here, this forms somewhat of a surface where I can get an angle, where I can go all the way up and then come back down. Any surface where you can elevate the top of your foot, now you can go below parallel to the ground and get all the way up. But typically, if you don't have that, single leg, try to balance, pause, control, pause, control. Not spending a lot of time on the ground, but spending that extra time with the 1 second pause in the air. So all these exercises are geared to strengthen all those important muscle groups in your legs. If you don't have equipment to squat, this stuff is going to save your legs if you can do this. Again, add the pauses. If you have stuff you can do, like loading up a backpack full of whatever you want to add weight or resistance, you got sandbags, you've got dumbbells of any type, add it in, goblet grip, side grip, whichever one you feel like you can handle, and kind of progress from there. All right, any questions, let me know.